So we had to go to the phone, the phone, the happy little phone, because, well, my computer just, yeah, let's just put it that way. And so it's one of those things that it's like, all right, well, you know what? Hey, life goes on.
Treats for her. I don't know what.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh man, so we were talking about being. Hang on a second here. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. Ah, okay, cool. All right, so where was I at? All right. Hey, sorry about that. Oh man, oh man, oh man. There it goes. Sorry. All right. Anyway, so where were we? We were talking about Fearless Friday, and so Fearless Friday. I mean, today is Fearless Friday. Um, Long story short, today's topic is courage's daily decision. Courage is your daily decision in all essence. I mean, and that's the honest God truth on it. What the heck are you doing? How do you stop that? Stop that. Um, um, how do you stop people from doing that? Showing up on there. I mean, my God, what are you doing there? All right. Anyways, oh, and you know what? Today I ended up trying and going and checking out a piece of property that's for Stormwalker Outpost, which I truly, 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 truly can't wait. I mean, we are actually in the process of getting Stormwalker Outpost, and hey, what's going on, Danny? And so we're working on getting Stormwalker Outpost going. We got a whole product line going on. We got everything like that out there, and and so we're working on that. And so I went to go look at a piece of property today for that, and 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 long story short, we learned something today. We learned that when Obit asks the real estate agent if he can drive back there, Obit is the real estate agent is supposed to say no, you cannot, because not only did I go down the trail with my van that thinks it's an SUV or an all-terrain vehicle, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's old enough, right? But we were mud bogging. And, well, let's put it this way. A Grand Caravan is not a good mud bogger. Done. We hit this one spot, game over. Game over. Took took a tow truck to get us out. And the tow truck was worried he was going to get stuck. And it was I just it's yeah. And you know what? Courage is a daily decision. It took courage to go down that thing. Not everybody's going to go down there. He actually joked. The guy knew the tow truck driver knew who I was. And he's like, Obet, what are you doing? He's like, you really are crazy. Yeah, I am. He's like, why would you bring a van down this 2-track dirt road? It's not even a road. And well, I shared the video earlier today on it because it was epic. It was epic. And well, long story short, Courage isn't a burst of bravery, and it's not a hype moment. It's a decision to do something that's going to be different. It's a decision to do something that's going to be hard. It's a decision to move in a direction that you or nobody else is willing to go without change. Because, see, every morning you wake up, life hands you two options. And the thing is about that, the thing is about that is let's see here, hang on. Cool. All right, sorry about that. Because see, every morning when you wake up, life gives you an opportunity. Two options: courage or comfort. And comfort keeps you where you are, whereas courage moves you where you're meant to be. And the wild part, nobody sees the decision when you make it, but everybody sees the results when you honor it. And so today, choose courage again. And tomorrow, choose courage again. And the next day, choose courage again. Because when you try to choose courage on a daily basis, your life changes. Because you got to choose it when you're tired. You choose it when you're unsure. You choose it even when your feelings don't match your future. You choose it when you're scared to go down that dirt road. You choose it when you're scared to go into that interview. You choose it when you're scared to go into that doctor's office. You choose it when you go to sign up for a school. You choose it when you decide to do something different for your life that matches where you feel you belong. Because, see, you know what? Courage isn't loud, it's just repeated on a daily basis. It's a habit of getting back up when you fail, it's a habit of making a choice to do something different with your life. It's a choice on doing something that other people are not willing to do so that you can have something that other people are not going to have. Not many people realize that. People want to live copacetic lives. They want to just try to live a comfortable life. I'm comfortable working my 8 hours a day and going home. That's it. And sit in front of the boob tube and watch TV all night long, eating their bag of Ruffles. While other people go home and sit in front of the boob tube eating their bag of Ruffles and are thinking, there's got to be more. There's got to be something different for my life. There's got to be something better. And it's that dream. And it's my dream. Hey, Ron. And that's the thing. Because if you're choosing courage today, somebody else is choosing comfort. And that comfort is a habit. Because your decisions are built. Your future is built on the decisions you make in private. And well, you know what? Your next level is waiting on your next courageous decision. Because, see, I grew up with my mother and my grandmother up on the north side of Chicago. All right. I didn't have a father role model. I was kicked out of high school because I was too busy wearing gang colors. Yeah, right. Okay. Me in a gang. Yeah. the year after I got a congressional award, the year after I went to the statewide science fair and got a scholarship to MIT and the whole 9 yards. And what do you want, babe?
I need a charger.
I don't have one offhand. I got this. Got
Is
that.
this long?
Yes, that's all. Sorry about that. And while long story short, when I ended up going into jail, yep, I was in jail for a stupid thing I did with my computer. Imagine that, right? Now you see where I hate computers. Where it starts out at. I hate computers. But you know what? When I ended up in jail with that, all those things there were based on decisions I made. Yeah, they were, what's the word I want to use? Not the smartest. But you know what? The point is, though, is that the hard part was continuing going. Because, see, as I sat in jail that one night, I thought to myself, well, there goes my whole entire career. I'll never be able to do anything ever again in my life. Now, when you embezzle more than $5,000, more than 10 or 20 or 30, it's one of those things that it turns into a kind of a like, hey, you're a bad boy. Thankfully, I was young and a teenager at that time, but you know what? It still hurt me badly. And I ended up having to try and getting past that. I ended up having to try and getting into an alternative school. I ended up having to start a business, explaining myself a couple times because, well, it happens, and end up having to try and becoming a father I never had. You know, raising two teenagers pretty much alone and with my brothers. But you know what? I've also built a business. I built multiple businesses. And now, a week and a half ago, I stood on a TEDx stage. Now I'm starting the WOW movement. So you know what? People, they don't see the courage it took to get here. They just look and see, look, this crazy guy is on TikTok again. Look, Obit's Trump blabbling on Facebook again. They don't see that. They don't see that how hard it was to have to get back up after a business failed. They don't see how hard it was to try and show your face after being in jail. They don't show how hard it was to show your face after trying and going through a bankruptcy or going through divorce. You know, because courage isn't the moment you shine. Courage is the moment you decide not to quit. And that's the important part to remember. And really honestly, the one key secret that I want to share with everybody, if you don't quit, you'll make it. You know, that's the secret to any business. If you don't quit, you'll make it. Because courage is a choice. It's not a feeling. You don't wake up one day and say, oh, hey, you know what? I feel courageous today. I'm going to go out and leap tall buildings. I'm going to jump over, creeks and God knows what else. Lord knows when I woke up this morning, I didn't think I was going to go mud bogging in a 2012 Grand Caravan, nor did I think I'd end up getting stuck mud bogging. But you know what? Hey, you never know what life is going to bring you. But courage is a choice of not giving up. And yes, if you have to repeat it couple times, well, you know what? That's what courage does. It's built through the repetition. It's built through the repetition of getting back up every time you fall, every time you stumble, every time you fall off that bike, every time you fail at a business, every time you try and break your ankle, every time you try and fail a class, every time you get suspended from work, every time you get yelled at. Courage is the strength to stand back up and try again. Because that every small step of getting back up, that's what builds courage. And that compounds. Standing in front of people talking is not a courageous thing. I mean, that's actually one of the top 3 things most people are afraid of. You know, top 3 things most people are afraid of is standing in front of people and talking. Other things are going to the doctor to see what's wrong with them. Guilty. Picking up the phone and making that cold call. Hi, this is Obed. I'm calling trying to see if you'd like to have a motivational speaker come to your organization. Yep. Terrified. Hi, I'm the owner for Main Street Communications. How would you like to advertise on my screens at McDonald's in Plymouth? Terrified to make those calls. People are terrified to do things. People are terrified to have those conversations they don't want to have. People are terrified to try and go to the places that they really don't want to go to, but they have to go to. People are terrified of change. And that's where courage comes into play. Because courage requires that discomfort. Because comfort is the enemy of your future. And the thing is courage is directional. I mean, you don't need confidence to move. You just need direction. Yeah. Which direction am I going to go? People trying and leave every day to go to work. Do they just randomly walk out the door and just start walking? Or do they actually know where they're going? When you go to school, do you just walk out the door and just start walking, out the door? Or do you actually make a few turns so you walk towards school? No, you need a direction. Everybody needs a direction. And you know what? How do you know that what direction it is? It's called confidence. You've been there before. But you know what? You never knew how to get there in the first place. It took time. You had to learn. Courage is a learning curve. Because see, your brain is wired to protect you, not to promote you. Your brain is wired to try and make you run and hide and cower when the storms come. When life decides to try and start throwing yuck at you, that's when your brain decides, you know what, let's go and hide in the bedroom. Let's go and hide, from whatever. Because maybe it'll pass and I won't get hit with it. Maybe I won't get so much damage. Maybe I won't lose so much money if I don't start that business. Maybe if I don't expend myself, I won't get in trouble. And so what happens is people tend to live their life all the way until about 30 years old and they die. But they don't get buried until their 70s or 80s or 90s. Because their dreams die by the time they reach 30 years old. Because they've been trying and working so hard towards their dreams and getting hit by life, getting hit by the challenges, getting setbacks and getting told no and getting told, hey, a little side tangent. What's the number one word babies hear the most the first 2 to 3 years of their life? And that sucks too. It's one of those answers. Anybody? Nope. Mm-mm. Not that one. Anybody else? No, it's not I love you. But it is top three. No. Number one word. One word. Number one word, babies here or toddlers here, the first couple years of their life. No. I'm not joking. No. Baby goes to hit. No. Baby goes to walk toward the stairs. No. Baby goes to throw something. No. Number one word. And so what happens is our brain is wired from the very beginning to protect us. No, don't touch the hot stove. No, don't go outside at night. No, don't draw and drive recklessly. No, don't stick your head in a lion's mouth. No, don't play with lobsters. No, don't play with scorpions. No, don't play with poisonous snakes. Really? Really? Come here, buddy. Yeah, I know. I love you too, bud. I love you too. But, I'm sorry. There, have a chair. Sorry about that. But the thing is that every courageous decision is a rebellion against your identity. We were raised with no. No, you can't try and duct tape your sister to the wall. No, you can't try and have the extra snack before dinner. What the heck was that? No, you can't this. No, you can't that.
Let me check.
Right, for AI. And so what happens is, you know what? We tend to get stuck thinking that our dreams are untouchable. And that is where our dreams stifle and they die. You know? And
I couldn't get an answer from Rye on that.
that's okay. So it's like, today, Fearless Friday, it's not a day to be fearful. It's not a day to be scared. It's not a day to lack the courage. It's a day to make a decision. It's a day to push towards your dreams, towards your goals, towards the things that is your purpose, your calling, the thing that is inside your heart that keeps you awake at night, that says, you know what, maybe I can try one more time. And so it's like, I want you to try and pick the one thing that scares you. And break it. Break that fear. Fear stands for face everything and rise. And that's the thing, is a lot of us are afraid. And there's really only two types of fear out there. You got the good fear and the bad fear. The good fear is the one that's basically the fear of a baby touching a hot stove. A fear of a kid playing in the middle of the Dan Ryan Expressway. A fear of a 4-year-old running through the house with a butcher knife. That's a good fear. A bad fear is a fear of trying and going for that interview for that better job. A bad fear is putting your application in to go back to school. A bad fear is sitting there and thinking about wanting to start that business, but you're afraid to because just in case, what if? And well, what happens is a lot of people who think what ifs. I mean, don't take this the wrong way. They're very creative. They're very imaginative because they tend to go towards the negatives. What if I start the business and I fail? What if I start the business and I start losing money? What if I start the business and okay, fine, yeah, fine. You can go down that road. But what if you start the business and you succeed? What if you start the business and you start making money? What if you start the business and you actually start to trying to have more time with your family? What happens if you start the business and you need to hire more people? What happens if you start the business and your family sees that you are actually attempting to do something better for yourself? What happens if you start the business and your family, your kids, see you going after your dreams? That you're working towards your goals and your ambitions. And they decide that they're going to try and do the same thing. What happens if? Like I said, a lot of people tend to go towards the negative what ifs when there are so many positive what ifs that are out there. What happens if your dream saves somebody's life? What happens if that invention that you have in your head that you want to invent and bring to the world can actually save somebody's life? Now there's an idea worth living for. Hey, Natasha, what if? And so we all end up getting hit with that fear. And once again, the good fear and the bad fear. The good fear, yes, fine. Be afraid of standing in the middle of the expressway with a butcher knife on your hand and a bag over your head. Yes, that is a good fear. But the bad fear of attempting to go for that interview of that job, of your all-time dream job, that's a bad fear. You need to overcome it. The bad fear of starting your own business, that's a bad fear. The bad fear of trying and starting that organization that you want, that nonprofit organization that you want to start, or bringing that invention out that you want to bring to the world, or that idea, or that book, or that movie. Those are all bad fears, and you need to overcome them. Break the silence. That truth that you're avoiding, you need to bring it out. Let it go. Somebody out there needs to hear it. Because fear doesn't disqualify you from it. It signals the direction you need to go. And that courage, it's to follow through. Because when you follow through on a daily basis, that courage builds and builds and builds and builds. Because if you do one strong thing on a daily basis towards your dreams, that daily basis turns into a week. And if you do it every week, that 4 weeks turn into a month. And every 4 months turn into a quarter of a year. And every quarter of the year, you do it 4 times. That's a year. And you've lived your life doing something positive for yourself, working towards your goals, that your family, that your friends, that your coworkers all see you making a difference in your life. Because that's how courageous is spontaneous and contagious. Because the people see it. That's how generational curses end. And if you do that for a year, and do it again for a year, and again for a year, not only will you have an excellent year, but you'll end up having an excellent decade. And if you live your life like that, you'll have an excellent life. Because daily courage becomes your identity. You don't need a new year. You don't need a new season. You have a new day every day and a new decision for that day. Wake up in the morning and decide, you know what? Today's the day I'm going to take that step. Today's the day I'm not going to be a fearless Friday monger. Today is the day that I'm choosing courage again. And tomorrow, I'm going to choose it again. And tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I'm going to choose it again. Because you know what? You have withstood more than people know. You've owned more than people have seen. It's time to start believing in yourself because you have it inside you. You've got greatness inside you. It's time to believe that you can win in a way that nobody can ignore. Step up in the morning. Choose courage. Take those hard steps and make your next move your loudest one yet. Because I believe in you. You need to believe in you. So tonight, choose courage. Tomorrow, choose courage. Next week, choose courage. Next month, choose courage. Next year, choose courage. And you will have a courageous life that will break generational curses that your family, your friends, your kids, your cousins, your nephews, your nieces, your grandkids will see. And they will follow suit. Thank you very